Predicting the future. Is it a thing? Can you do it? How does it work? How do you get the messages? This is a question that Shaz posed to me recently. Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a spiritual healer and I work with energy. Now, everything is energy. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, everything. And your life also has an energetic path. The world has got an energetic path. While everything is energy, there is a pattern to the way everything unfolds. And this includes your life. Before you come to this earth, before you are incarnated, you have a life plan. You have a choice of what you want to do based on lessons that you want to learn. But this is occurring to all people at all times across the planet. Now, just consider this. Before you're born, so before you come to this planet, it stands to reason that you would have an idea about how everything plays out for yourself, because that's the point of choosing this life. So you already know what the likely outcome is, right? In fact, it's not even a likely outcome. You're choosing your path, but you're not choosing every single little step. Like if you're going to have hot dogs or peanut butter on your toast, you're not choosing those things. You're choosing the big anchoring points through your life. This is what we all do. We choose these major things that are going to happen in our lives. We select them based on what lessons we want to learn. So this is the way it unfolds. You arrive already with a mapped out general plan. And this general plan includes all of those big pillar moments in your life that you want to accomplish. You've still got free choice. You totally have free choice. So in between, how you get from point to point is up to you. It can be a painful journey or a quick journey, and all along you are learning things. All right, let's go back to predicting the future. Now, there you are before you come to this earth and you understand what your life plan is going to be like, what your overall picture would look like. Now, here you are on earth and you've forgotten all of that planning. You've forgotten how things work out. And you are really curious. You want to know what is going to happen, maybe the gender of your baby, what will happen at work in the next 10 years, things like that. This is where it becomes quite easy because your life, most of us have this pattern of living a predictable life. You know, you do the same thing every day. There's this pattern of predictability that you have in your life. And what goes on is that you start to develop a momentum, an energetic momentum. This works with an accumulation of activities and actions and thoughts and words that start to direct you on a certain path. This path could change in between your main pillars. And you also do have the opportunity to make a radical decision to change your main pillars if you choose. Those happen less frequently, though, those changes. Now, if you were wanting to recall that knowledge that you already had, yes, listen to this. Predicting the future is actually tuning in to what you already know. You already have a sense of all of the time. Clock time is only an earth construct. If you leave the earth, what is the time? Where is the time? How do you measure time? Having a watch on your wrist does not make the time of the universe make sense. So this is what we have here on earth as an earth construct to help us structure our lives and structure the sequence of events and structure what we do on a daily basis, which is awesome. But we need to remember that clock time is an earth construct and it's not really relevant in the energetic greater universe, the greater multiverse. And you are part of that multiverse. That's who you are. You are an energetic being. You are originally first this energetic being before you become the human. Now, as this energetic being, knowing everything, and now then as the human coming into being a human and incarnated here, you still have access to all of that broader knowledge that you let go of. I understand that you're sitting here in the human and thinking, how do I feel that? Or how do I see that? But you already do have flashes of that. So when the telephone rings and you already know who's on the line, that is you predicting, you're intuiting, you're tuning in energetically to who's calling you. So at that moment, you are not only predicting the future, but you're also seeing the unseen past, because by the time the phone rings, someone would already have been selecting to press your name on their phone. So you are tuning into the past, the immediate past, the few seconds or a minute previously, and you're tuning into the very immediate future. If you're able to intuit and tune into that in those little short time frames, then you're totally able to do it in a longer time frame. The way this works is you take a moment, usually in meditation, where you allow the limitations that are imposed on us as humans in the human, you allow that to fall away. Stretch your mind into all aspects of past, future, and present. Really, energetically, there is no past, future, and present. In the multiverse, it's only in the present tense, in the now. And if that's what we are considering, then the future is happening right now. Yes, mind bend, blow your mind. How can this work? Let me explain. Consider the past, present, future. Consider all the actions in your future happening as if they are right now. But it's like you've got a selection of CDs or videos. They're all there and available on the shelf. You just need to select them and then put them into the machine and get them to play. So it exists right now. Right now, you could go and take something off your shelf and play it. It is in existence. We are just wanting to tune into that already exists. To get that right, you need to drop your disbelief. You need to drop the obstacles to your seeing. So how can you drop these obstacles to you seeing? Before we dive into the way you can drop these obstacles, let's look at two things. The first is that there is this pattern, as I've said. So it's easy to predict the things that have a pattern to them. There is that energetic momentum that builds up, and then there's that likelihood of happening. There's the greater potentiality of a certain outcome. For example, at work. When you are embarking on a career and you're staying in the same position and you're staying in the same company, there is a likely outcome. And this is predictable. If you tune into that, it's not hard. This is when you're dealing with predictable things, that's not hard. The challenge with the predictable things is that if you tell the person or the person finds out, the future immediately changes. So the trick with predicting the likely potentialities, the things with patterns, that trick is that the person involved shouldn't know about it, because as soon as they get to know about it, the future changes. Right, so the second thing is the unpredictable future, or the unpredictable thing without pattern. This happens when we've got like a groupthink, or when we are looking at the outcome of a national election where you've got multiple players, multiple parties involved. It could even happen just between two people, where two people are involved and there's also free choice. Now, if you are able to drop all those barriers to seeing, you'd be able to see that some things do have a literal existence right now and are predictable because they already exist, and other things are completely unpredictable. You cannot see them because they haven't been selected. They haven't been chosen. So what will the outcome be between two people in their relationship? Will they stay together or will they separate? This is something depending on how both of them choose to grow and how they choose to map their path forward. And even if it has been selected that they stay together in a choice before they come to Earth, it could be that en route they change their minds and there's a shift in the timeline. While we know and understand this Earth that we're on, and we understand that we've got clock time and a past and a present and a future, there is also this thing that happens that there can be multiple timelines. Yes, it's true, there can be multiple timelines. So literally all of these choices you make are splitting your world off into a different timeline. Let's not dwell on that too much, because then if there are hundreds or thousands of timelines, then theoretically all predictions come true, because everything that you're predicting is coming true on a timeline. The key is, which one are you focusing on? Which future are you focusing on? You're staying in this idea of being in meditation. This is how you get to the place where you can drop all of those barriers to seeing, is in meditation. Now, what if there is no pattern? Well, two things are going to happen if there's no pattern. The finding out changes the pattern of the future, firstly. But secondly, as an external observer, you can either start to develop a feeling about it. This is very common. People have abilities they can see, hear, or they just have a knowing about things coming in the future. So one of the ways is with seeing. It's an internal seeing. You see it in your mind's eye. You will have the flash of an image. You could be, walking along and suddenly an image pops into your mind and you understand that this relates to the future. For example, this is a great example. I was just running one day. I was exercising. I was running along with a friend. And while I was running, I suddenly had this clear image in my mind of a friend of mine, pregnant, and her child was going to be a boy. Now, she already had 3 children, so this was an unexpected surprise to me to find this out. She hadn't told me, and I didn't phone her up and say to her, oh, you know what, I know you're pregnant, or you're about to be pregnant. I mean, what would the point be of that? But it's a clear example of how I had this flash of insight, and then it turned out to be true. And that's an image, it's a picture, it's a knowing, right? It's that same kind of knowing that you have when you know who's going to be calling you and the phone is ringing. Then there's the other kind of thing that can happen. This is where you're able to clearly and predictably forecast the future based on a fixed proposed scenario. Okay, lots of words. What does that mean? It means if A happens, the outcome will be, and then you can see it. Or if B happens, the outcome will be, and you can see what that would be. This works very well when you are trying to predict the future and create an answer for yourself about what you should do. If I stay in company X, then this will be the outcome. If I move to company Y, then that will be the outcome. That's a knowing that you get from a proposed scenario. So either you're going to get an image, a picture, you'll have words or a knowing, right? And it'll just pop up. Or you can pose a question. If A, then I understand that XYZ will happen. If B, then I understand that ABC will happen. Things get so interesting because this is something we can all do. Really, we're all able to do this. You do not need a crystal ball to predict the future. All you need is some time in meditation. Before you go to meditation, I want you to understand that you already have all of this knowledge. You already have everything that you need. I said this before, but I'm just reiterating it because I want you to really grasp that. You already are an incredible, light, energetic being. This is your natural state. So all of the stuff that you're doing here on earth, all of the work that you're doing for yourself is dropping things or allowing things to just not take precedence so that your natural light can shine. Yes, I understand that sounds unlikely if you're not believing in yourself. However, it is the truth. This is your true being, who you are at the very core. You are someone who shines. Now, as the shiny person here in the physical, a great way for you to connect to all time, past, present, future, everything that's happening is through meditation. The way this will work is you'll find yourself in a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, and you start to bring yourself into a meditative state, with the breathing, tuning into different parts of your body, focusing on your breathing in and out, and just allow this breathing to continue and continue, in and out. Keep focusing. This is where you need to remember something else. You're not trying to quieten your mind because your natural state of being is already quiet. You are already still. You are already the person who can perfectly meditate. All you're doing is removing obstacles. That's it. We're not trying to quieten the already quiet mind. We just notice any obstacles that come and allow them to fall away. Does this make sense? I think it works best if you remember you don't have to make yourself into something that you're not. You are merely taking off some clothing that doesn't suit you. Take off the things, let the things go that are holding you back from seeing what you wish to see. There are two ways that work really well while you're meditating for you to see the future. It's with an image or with a feeling. Sometimes we simply have a feeling in our bodies about what's going to happen. And sometimes it's a very clear image that comes to us. We can practice and perfect these two things. The knowing is normally a feeling that you have within you. It's just a knowledge that comes to you in exactly that same thing that we've been talking about when someone calls you, right? The other one is the seeing a picture and then knowing that that picture is true. This is just practice. Keep practicing. Just keep on it. And all the time, if your mind is just going and going, remind yourself that that is something that you can take off. It's not something for you to change about yourself. You are already amazingly able to see what's going on in your past, your present, your future, and in other timelines. The idea of clock time is a real obstacle here. So just allow yourself to let go of the notion that clock time is the only measure of time that we have. There is no time. Everything is in the continuous present. That is probably the major barrier, because you're existing in the present tense thinking that the future is separated from you. Now practice this. Just keep practicing and notice how it feels for you. Notice when you have accurate predictions. Try with things that are going to happen in an hour or in half an hour and see if you can predict, for example, if you're looking for parking, see if you can predict where your parking place would be. You can visualize it in advance and then see if that's the one that opens up for you. And just keep practicing. It's like a muscle. It needs to just be developed and it needs to grow. Remember, you already have the skill. It is just collapsing that distance between what you intrinsically know and what the obstacles are to you remembering what you know. We want to bring those two together so that there is no separation. We want to bring those two together so that you are recalling all of the things that you know, you're recalling and understanding all of your magnificence, all of your awesomeness. This is who you are. You're awesome. Thank you for listening, and I would love to hear from you. I want to know how your predicting of the future is going. I want to know how your meditation is going. I would love you to share with your friends what you're doing and get them to do this with you as well, so that you have an accumulation of energetic momentum. Remember how that works, because it is a critical mass that you build up with an energetic momentum. When you meditate together, or when you're sharing what it is that you're meditating about, somehow it seems to hone your own meditation skills. Give it a go. Let me know. I'm Michelle. I'm a spiritual healer. I work with energy, and I've loved spending this time with you.